It's been a long time coming, but a new year, new lockdown, it's inspired me to make another one of these tasty educational videos. In the Watch It, Cook It, Eat It universe today, we're making a roasted butternut squash pasta. A typically autumnal dish, but since Morrison's was invented, you can get your hands on these bastards literally all year round. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Cue the damn music. Okay, so for this recipe you will need an entire butternut squash. I know this is only half a squash, but it's only because I started chopping it up before I did this ingredients intro bit. You need 2 shallots, a bulb of garlic, 5 to 6 sage leaves, a few sprigs of rosemary, some Pecorino cheese or any hard cheese, some nutmeg which will be grated later, crème fraiche. Please ignore the fact that this is 0% fat. I by no means endorse low fat products. I was simply not paying attention when I bought all the ingredients. And a glass of white wine. Okay, so on with the mise en place. Start by peeling the squash and cutting it into about inch-sized cubes. Try not to cut them too small or they'll burn really quick. Add the diced squash into a roasting dish and then grab your garlic and separate the cloves from the globe, if that makes sense. And next, you're going to realise that the roasting tin you started with was too small and swap it for a larger one. Then add the garlic cloves with the skins on. Leaving the skins on makes them turn all soft and prevents them from charring, which is absolutely no good to anyone. Next, add your fresh herbs, then a generous glug of olive oil, season with salt and pepper, and give the whole affair a toss. And I know I forgot to mention these at the beginning, but we're also going to add some pine nuts for extra nuttiness. Whack the whole affair in a hot oven for about 30 to 40 minutes or until the squash has turned golden brown. Once cooked, remove the dish from the oven and allow it to cool. Whilst the squash is cooling down, dice up your shallots and add them to a saucepan over medium heat with a splash of olive oil and cook for about 5 minutes. Next, add in your wine and reduce for about 10 minutes or until all the alcohol is cooked off. I know you can't see me doing this, but you'll just have to take my word that I did do it. Now your veggies are cool, you can remove the skins from the garlic without burning your fingers. Once de-skinned, add your vegetables to the shallots and give it a stir so everything gets to know each other. Now it's time to get blitzing. I'm using a hand blender which works just fine and you don't have to shed out £1,000 for a high power blender. Make sure you blend any lumps out and your sauce is as smooth as possible. Once smooth, add in about 200 millilitres of vegetable stock, 2 tablespoons of crème fraiche and your grated Pecorino cheese. Stir the whole affair together and adjust for seasoning. Keep your sauce on a low heat whilst you cook the pasta. I'm not going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to cook pasta. You should know how to do that by now. However, I will remind you to generously salt the water and to reserve a cup of the starchy pasta water. Once cooked, drain the pasta and add in a generous helping of the sauce. Add in a splash of the pasta water and give it all a toss together. Grate in some of that fresh nutmeg. I know I've got a fancy nutmeg grinder thing, but you don't need one of these. Season it with some freshly cracked black pepper, and now it's time to plate up. Pour the pasta and sauce into a warm pasta bowl. Warm pasta bowl. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Warm pasta bowl. Add some more Pecorino cheese on top and some crumbled burnt sage as well. And just like magic, you have a delicious vegetarian roasted butternut squash with pine nuts and sage pasta. Well, it's not real magic, but more like hard work, concentration and skill. But they're basically the same thing once you take away the wands and top hats. Anyway, you can enjoy this one with your friends or your family, or literally no one at all and eat it all yourself. The butternut squash puree can also be served with meat, such as steak, or you could have it on toast. Or you could fill up a bathtub with it and get in, although that probably wouldn't taste very nice.